Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 4 of What If Naruto got stuck in the apocalypse after Chunin exams. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other What Ifs over the other channels. I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto sealed Kaguya inside himself and trained for 6,000 years over an anime print, so go ahead, check out that and enjoy. I also post a brand new episode over Anime King 3 of What If Naruto and his clan was betrayed by Konoha, so go ahead, check out that and enjoy as well guys. I also post a brand new episode of What If Naruto had his father intelligence and his mother here. I also post a new series over on Anime Print, so go ahead, check out that as well guys. So yeah, without further ado, wasting more time, what do you say we jump right into this new episode? Begin now guys. So, the last time we left off, Kurna was awake as she went through a lot upon waking up. As she was still terribly weak, she could not even get out of bed though. As Naruto was happy to see that she was awake, but memories of what he saw was on his mind. Later that night while she was asleep, Ayam tried to get Naruto to open up about what happened as she saw that he was not okay. Naruto banged his hand on the table and lost it as he told her that he saw the head of Hinata out there in the street. However, Kurna was awake as she overheard that the woman had went into a frenzy upon hearing what happened, her whole body trembling as Naruto had rushed her aside as she coughed up blood. She ended up passing out afterwards though, her body not being able to take it. Slowly the time passed as Kurna tried to get out of bed saying that she was fine. However, Naruto told her to go back. There was something about his eyes as she saw a green glow that was so dominating, that was so overpowering, she was confused by it. However, she said yes, Naruto saw him as she ended up passing out. Once again, her body was still not in right condition. More time passed as Naruto gathered more supplies. He also went out to spy on those things, those creatures, whatever they were. He was still not sure what they were though. As they traveled in 4-man groups, 1 the leader and 3 behind. As Naruto noticed that they did not come to certain parts of the village, he was not sure why was that though. As Naruto came back, the girls got the radio together and they were able to communicate with Naruto when he was outside, so they spoke to him. As Naruto made his way towards a section of the village, because Naruto had opened up his chakra pathways with his new green chakra that he was able to somehow awaken, as Naruto was able to remember things that he hadn't remembered in a long time. The green chakra had its drawback though, because when Naruto stopped using it, his body went into a weakened frenzy. However, once he was using it, it had this raw, animalistic strength, this overbearing dominant power that he was shocked by. It was a lot powerful. It felt so unnatural. However, he needed for now and he needed to find out what exactly it was. So with that, Naruto made his way towards the back. Kurna was about to tell him how to disable the seal until Naruto saw it. The green chakra, it went up to his eyes as Naruto was able to see it all. As Naruto simply waved his hand, unfurling the seal, and it broke. It was then that it happened. Snow started to come down. Yes, it was snowing. Naruto was shocked by that, the snow. However, once the snow touched him though, it started to freeze over his clothing, as Naruto had to tear his jacket off and threw it inside. He screamed at the girls to not come outside no matter what, as he jumped down into the location. Upon going down there though, the doors closed as the snow started to freeze the thing over. The radio stopped working as Naruto cursed at that as he could no longer hear the girls. but he was sure that they heard his last message of not to come out. He hoped that they did. As Naruto made his way down. Upon walking for a long while, Naruto heard voices. So he hid, waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for the right moment. And it came as Naruto came out, a kunai towards the person's throat. However, to his shock, it was Shino and Tenten. Naruto was overjoyed to see them, so happy. As they start to walk and talk about what happened, they were shocked as they told him that the ear was poisonous. Naruto was confused as they explained. It turns out that they had tried to go up there, but they saw what happened to the members. Their eyes start to bleed and strange white foam start to come off their mouth, and they start to spasm and drop and die. More and more members start to leave, leaving just the three of them down here. It turns out that they were with a guy known as the Eternal Genin. As Naruto wondered if he was able to use the green chakra as well. Tenten told him a bit about what happened to her. However, Shino was not ready to divulge that information yet. He seemed to have went through a whole lot, as Naruto was not one to pry into a situation right now, knowing that outside was hard on everyone. So yeah guys, basically that's what I thought. If you guys can switch across the play, check it for yourself, and what do you say? Go ahead and check out the other series guys. Yes, I do have 4 channels, which I post what fun every single day. So yeah, I'm gonna be jumping right into this new episode right now guys. Begin? Yeah. They arrived towards the location as Shino knocked on the door. Kasuke-san, we arrive early. It's an important matter, he called out. Ah, Shino-kun, do enter. I've boiled some hot water. An elderly voice came from the other side. Naruto raised the eyebrow as Shino opened the door. You better pull out the extra tin can then. We have a guest, said Tenten. Naruto stepped in as he saw an old man in ragged clothing. His hair was as grey as storm clouds. His face showed a few signs of wrinkles. He was also just as pale, if not paler than Tenten and Shino. Then again, what else could you expect from people who live down here? Kasuke looked at the young Uzumaki. As far as he could tell, the boy was not living in the tunnels with them. He was much too fit. From lack of food and water, him, Shino and Tenten started to show signs of deterioration. Yet the Kyuubi Jinchuriki looked as well as he's ever been. In fact, there was something about the boy that felt intimidated to the old man. He didn't know why. He's met powerful people before. He has served under 3 Hokages. He was used to seeing powerful, godly people, but something about this boy, something told him to submit. It was deeply concerning. It was possible because he was that man's son, but Kasuke doubt that was the reason. Uzumaki Naruto. And here I was hoping for a day where nothing goes on. Kasuke says he took a can of water and sipped it. You know me, old man, said Naruto. Kasuke laughed. Indeed I do. I would have to be living under a rock to not know you. You made use of the Kyuubi's chakra during the Chunin exams. Quite a feat for a young man like you. This little hut is not much, but I welcome you, the Eternal Genin said, as Naruto was offered a seat as he took it. Once he sat down, Shino closed the door as Tenten wastes no time explaining things. Kasuke-san, listen to this. Naruto is not from the tunnels. He's been outside since the day the giant rock fell from the sky. She explained a bit too excitedly. She quickly composed herself afterwards as Kasuke frowned. He wanted to appear hopeful, but like many others, that seemed to be dwindling day after day. Is that true? Naruto-san, he said. Yeah. Shino and Tenten claim that the air is toxic, but I've been breathing the air since this all started. Nothing's happened to me. Or I am San. Or Kurina-san, said Naruto. Kasuke scratched his chin. That was definitely odd. The air had to be toxic. That was the only explanation for what trapped them down here for so long. Could it have passed? But no. The young Genin claimed that he's been doing this since day 1. That was the day that people start dying and chaos ruptured through Konoha. Something was not adding up here. Perhaps a story might be best, Kasuke said. Shino and Tenten sat down as Naruto began his tale. He started from his week beneath the logs. He talked about how he rescued Ayam and Kurnai. He talked about the creatures that he faced. Shino was interested in the bugs that the blonde encountered when he fell into that crevice. Tenten and Kasuke worried about that thing he encountered at the Chunin exam stadium. To hear of Toki's demise, it saddened Kasuke. The man was a dear friend. When Naruto was done, the others had to process all of that. Naruto left a few things out about him taking care of Ayam and Kurnai, his training and the green chakra though, he left those things out. That said, it was like he did not trust Shino. He was a good friend, a weird one but a good friend. He did not know much about Tenten though. and he never heard of this old man before. Strong genuine or not, he was not taking any chances. I see. Sounds like you had a rough time. So that is why it's been getting colder down here. It starts snowing. By your own words, the snow is alive. Naruto nodded. He knew that it sounded ridiculous, but normal snow did not act like that. As Naruto grabbed his backpack, I don't have a lot of food on me, but I can at least give you guys what I didn't eat or drink, said Naruto. He handed Shino a half-eaten bag of chips, 2 granola bars to Tenten, as he gave Kasu the 2 bottles of water. It wasn't a lot, but for the 3 of them who barely saw food, it was gold. Thank you, Naruto, Tenten said as she ate. As Shino offers thanks as well, Katsuki as well. As they start dividing things up, well, it certainly made them realize that the blonde had been up there. Bottled water, chips, granola bars. He had to have gotten them from the surface, but how? That tasted so good. It might as well have been a 5-course meal, said Tenten. Katsuki laughed as Shino faced forward. Well, thank you for the gift, Naruto-san. Though I assume that Kurenai helped you with opening the sealed door, Katsuki said. Yeah, Naruto lied. Katsu saw it though, but he did not push it. He noticed some of the blonde behavior, but he did not push it. He had no idea why Naruto would lie. I see. Well, I suggest that we all head towards the Anbu headquarters. I've disabled the traps there. We can camp out there until the snow stops. Then we can test if Naruto-san can really go outside. If he can, who knows? We might be able to go outside as well. Katsu said. As Shino spoke up, what if he can, and we can't, he said. Everyone was silent, until Naruto spoke, as he pulled out his map. I have marked all the places I've been to. My apartment is right here. If it stops snowing, I'm heading straight there. To be honest, I was looking for another place to stay with them. We settle on these tunnels anyway. We'll run your tests, but if I can and you guys can't, then I'll go and grab them and bring them back here. Kurenai is still sick, but I'll run them here as soon as possible, and I'll grab what I can from the other apartment rooms. That is where all the stuff I've stored is. Tenten slowly nodded. And you've been communicating with them through this headset. I guess the snow cut off the connection, or maybe it was the tunnels itself. Plus, being down here doesn't really help, she said. As Naruto agreed. That certainly complicates the matters. If Naruto's the only one that can go up there, we'll have to rely on him for supplies. Yet you said that you carried both Kurenai and Ayam to your apartment when you found them, and they're fine, correct? Well, yeah, said Naruto. Although, I guess when I saw them, neither of them were outside. Kurenai-san was in the house, and Ayam was in the basement level of the Chunin exams, where that thing was. But yeah, nothing happened to either of them when I got them. The others sat on the floor confused. There had to be something that they were not seeing. As Naruto's mind crossed on his green chakra, as he wondered if that was the reason. Maybe he was using that to keep himself alive, and them as well. Yet how was that possible? He had not accessed it in a week or two, following the time before he found Ayam or Kurenai, and he breathed just fine those times. What was going on? Alright, Katsuki said. Based on the map, it seems Naruto-san is telling the truth. But you know what they say, seeing is believing. Shino-kun, Tenten-chan. If you both are fit enough, we'll move to the Anbu headquarters. There's a room where we can perfectly view everything. Yeah, I'm down to go, said Tenten. That was the first decent meal I had in weeks. I'm not passing this one up. Neither am I, said Shino. This will be an enlightening experience. Well then, let's collect what we need and escort Naruto-san to his location. As Naruto packed his bag, the elder man placed a hand on his shoulder. Naruto turned towards him as the man gave him an odd smile. Neither said a word until the man just walked away. As Naruto was confused. Apparently they didn't have much to pack as they finished before him. Watch your step, Naruto. We had several traps down here. Though we never spotted anything, you can't be too careful, said Tenten. He nodded. Alright then, lead the way. The trip was not anything too spectacular. It involved a lot of walking and a lot of climbing up ladders. Even though they were deep beneath the ground, Naruto could hear the sound of the blizzard outside. The ladder creaked and each step echoed. He worried for Ayam and Kurenai. He wouldn't be able to live with himself if he could not protect them. If he ever met Toki again, how would he explain to him that he failed to protect his daughter? He tried not to think about these things. He just hoped that he would be okay until he returned. Well, he was never much for praying even before all his problems started. Shino, if you don't mind me asking, what happened to your Aberame bugs? Kurenai and I haven't been able to gather chakra for some time now. I assume that is the same for you. So what's going on? The Aberame and the Kikaichus are very understanding of one another. If you're worried that they will start feasting on me, then you have no need to be worried. I merely asked them to go into diapause. Dia what? Said Naruto. Diapause, Naruto. Some insects, when it's cold, go into diapause, survive in cold weathers or winter months. The Kikaichu are in diapause, in an unmoving state until I find a way to restore my chakra for them to feast on. I hope I find a way because they would die if I keep them like that for too long. As Naruto nodded, should he tell Shino that he eats some bugs to survive while he was under the logs? Hell no, he told himself. After about an hour, Naruto figured that they were on the side of the mountain because the tunnel started to curve upwards. Constantly, they were surrounded by darkness. And finally, Kasuke led them towards a set of hallways, as Naruto saw a black door that was torn off the hinges. A staircase led upwards. It was long before Kasuke grabbed another door handle and pushed it open. As they all walked through, they were in an office of sorts. Everything was destroyed inside. Not very put together, is it? Said Naruto. Just as said Tenten. It looked better before we had to break down the floorboard and the wooden shelf for firewood. As Naruto looked towards the open window, he did not know what part of the headquarters they were in of the Anvu. Hell, he did not even know that there was one until a few hours ago. When he got there, he and the others stared at the snow fall, as even the pieces that fell in the windows started to stitch themselves together. It probably wouldn't be long before they cracked the window and got inside. Taking a breath to calm himself, Naruto glanced out to the world, as the strange fungus spread all over. The more it fell, the more it stuck together and the more heavier it got. When it got too heavy, it broke homes and shelters, taking everyone inside. Naruto felt his hand shake. His apartment was already in bad condition before the snow. Could he take this? What's that? Said Tenten as she saw the snowflakes stringing themselves together. As Shino and Kasu saw it as well. That's what nearly got me, said Naruto. The three of them gasped. How did the world change in such a short time? It was like a horror movie gone wrong. Now they understand fully what he meant when he said the snow was alive. How could snow and ice even move like this? Board up the windows as best you can. We can't have this stuff getting inside, Kasuke said. They agreed, as they grabbed one of the bookshelves and pushed it to the window. While that would not do much, it was all they had. Great. So how are we supposed to test Naruto now? We can't send him out in that, Tenten said. Kasuke frowned and scratched his chin. Tenten was right. Whether Naruto could survive out there normally was not the problem. Clearly he could not survive now, and from the way all of this was spreading, it wouldn't be long before it covered the village. Plus, how long will it take before the snow started to melt? Though the Eternal Genin did not like the thought, they might have said goodbye to the Anvu headquarters. Wait, I have an idea, said Naruto. You have an idea? You, said Tenten. A glare was met for her troubles. Tenten didn't know why, but she felt a shiver went down her spine. It made her felt like maybe she said the wrong thing. She do not remember the last time she felt so terrified. She's been on sea and B-rank missions before. Yet, from that gaze alone, she felt so afraid. She decided to keep her comments to herself, as Naruto leaned against a wall, putting the radio there. I am Nichan. Kurina-san, do you read me? Said Naruto. The four of them waited silently as they heard another structure outside fell. I am Nichan. Kurina-san, do you hear me? Said Naruto. Naruto-kun. Oh, thank Kami. We tried to radio for the past 2 hours. Are you alright? Ayam said. Naruto released a sigh of relief. Yeah, I'm fine. Listen, I got some good news. I've met up with a few people, Shino, Tenten, and a man named Kasuke. We're here in the Anbu headquarters, said Naruto. You met Shino? Shino's alive? He heard the soft voice. In the background, no doubt it was Kurenai. Yeah, hang on, said Naruto. As he took off the headset and handed it to Shino, the Abera maid took it. Hello? Shino, thank Kami you're alive. It's good to hear your voice, said Kurenai on the other side. Shino never thought of himself as emotional, but not even he could stop himself from lifting his glass up and wiping his eyes. It's good to hear you as well, Kurenai-sensei. Are you alright? He heard a cough on the other line. I'm doing fine, she said. As much as Naruto wanted this lovely reunion to continue, he could not, as he asked for the headset back. I am Nichan, he said. How's the apartment doing? There was a pause in the line before she spoke. Bad. One of the rooms collapsed because of the snow. When I checked, the snow somehow began cracking the walls. It broke inside and shifted the complex. I don't think it's going to be long before it falls. I think we're blessed we got this long. Naruto, the snow is breaking into the living room. It's so cold. It's turning into ice. I don't think that we're gonna last for even 2 more days. Naruto scowled, damn it. Gather everything you can, said Naruto. Put on any covering or comforting clothes you can find. Use the towels and bedsheet if you have to. I don't care. I'm coming to get you both, said Naruto. What? No! It's too dangerous, Naruto-kun. We could be too far from— Don't argue with me, said Naruto, cutting her off. I am not letting you both die. Just prepare to leave, said Naruto. As he took off the headset and handed it to Kasu. Stay in line with them. Take me to the front door of this place. Kasu looked towards young Genin. When was the last time he saw a ferocious, commanding, fiery gaze like that? Between the chaos that ruled over lesser minds, his mind remained focused and strong. The eternal Genin couldn't help but feel impressed. As he could not argue. Follow me, he said. Naruto ripped off the main curtain, drapes, and everything else he could find. He wrapped them around himself and tasked Tenten and Shino together, everything they could. They broke down the woods from the decks and took some wooden swords from the armory. Naruto, what's your plan? Tenten said. I'm going to go and get them. Yeah, we got that, she said. But what are you going to— She stopped as they arrived in front of the building door. Naruto ordered them to drop it in the reception area. Apparently, the envoy quarters had a reception area. Don't ask why. Naruto stared into the intense blizzard as he placed his goggles over his eyes. He reached into his backpack and pulled out some matches. As all of the wood was gathered, I'll set it on fire, whatever you do. Keep it hot, said Naruto. Kazuki realized where Naruto was going. It was unorthodox, but it would work. Though the snow and ice was still fearsome outside, at the end of the day it was still snow and ice, the natural enemy of fire. But can you even find your apartment in this storm? Tenten said. Naruto snorted. Please, I once found my way home blindfolded, as he tore off a piece of cloth and wrapped it around his mouth. Everything else that he found was tied around his body, his arms, legs, torso. His face were all protected. Alright, I'm as covered as I'm gonna get. Stay close to the fire, said Naruto, and close the door the moment I step out. The three of them nodded as Naruto grabbed the door hands. He summoned the green chakra and sent it to his hands, legs, lungs, and heart. It was hard to use it at so many places, but for them, he would do it. He pulled the doors open as the frozen winds blasted in his face, but he stood his ground. The others watched stunned as the ground beneath him cracked. He then blasted off, ripping the ground apart as he did. Though they were shot, they rushed forward and closed the doors. As for Naruto, he sailed through the air after that jump. He landed on a rooftop. So cool. As there was no doubt the snow was sticking to him already. Blasting off the rooftop, the snow stretched beneath his boots. Naruto dropped to the ground as he ran. He ran and ran. He'd already seen enough death. He would not let them die. He could not stand the thought of losing anyone else. It might break him down if he did. He landed on another rooftop, but as he tried to move, he could not. His leg was frozen and stuck. He sent the green chakra down and burst his leg out as he jumped and rushed down east. His body got heavier and heavier as he finally zoomed in his apartment as he rushed faster. He already knew that when he stopped using green chakra, his body would be in intense pain. However, as you remember all the dying that he saw already, he knew that pain would be much worse if he gave up, so he clenched his fist and moved off. As Naruto landed on his rooftop, jumping down, he kicked the door down. They wouldn't be coming back in your way. It's time to say goodbye. Kurina and Ayam almost jumped out of their skin as they saw Naruto standing there, his body covered in snow and crawling ice. They wonder how he was even standing. Naruto-kun, Ayam said, I'll take Kurina's hand first since she's the most vulnerable. I swear, I'll be back for you, Ayam-chan, said Naruto. He tore off the curtain and drapes that he's been using. He then grabbed the shower rake that he was using to block the windows. As he covered himself with that, Kurina gasped as she felt Naruto pick her up in his arms. Before she could even speak, he dashed through the window. She wrapped her arms around his neck as he protected her from snow and ice. Her breath was cold, but his body was warm, filled with mysterious, strange power. Her face buried in his neck as the harsh winds slammed against them. The added weight of Kurina was not easy to hold, but Naruto did anyway, sending more green chakra down to his legs. When he moved, the place started to be ripped apart. The ceilings broke. The ground cracked. Naruto arrived and kicked the door open. The others gasped as Naruto stepped in. As he placed Kurina down next to the fire, the snow quickly started to melt as she looked towards the three in surprise. As she saw him, she hugged her student. She then turned towards Naruto, but he was already gone, blasting through the snow once again. Naruto growled as the snow covered one of his arms. His goggles was also being covered as well. One of his legs started to be covered as well. It was hard to move. Finally he arrived as Ayam smiled at him as he took off the drapes, the curtain, the carpet, grabbing the sheet and the curtain from his bedroom. Everything seemed so clear and yet so muddy, as he believed that he was moving on instincts. He grabbed all the storage scroll as he sealed everything away, the food, the water, the clothes, the medical supplies. Bathroom supplies, mattresses, sheets, pots, anything of value that anyone else could use in this world that was slowly dying. By the time he was done, he had a backpack full of scrolls. Once that was done, Naruto appeared in front of Ayam. The ramen waitress could not deny it. Naruto looked so gallant. In front of her eyes, he was like a living, breathing hero that stood in front of her. He really came back for her, just like back at the Chunin exam stadiums. He was rescuing her once again. She didn't know why, but her heart leaped as he held his hand out. "Trust me," he said. "Always, Naruto-kun," she said. He picked her up in his arms as she went under all the wrapping, as she felt safe there. Naruto bent his legs before shooting off. She brushed off what she could with her gloves, trying to keep Naruto safe, but it was moving so fast. When Naruto got there, he kicked the door open as he walked in. Katsuki and Tenten rushed forward as they placed 5 blocks of wood against the door to hold it. Naruto was covered by the snow. One of the goggle eye pieces were completely frosted. One of his legs were being consumed, but yet he did it. He saved the both of them. "Quickly, get some fire on him," Katsuki said, as Naruto slowly put Ayam down. They placed the burning wood on his clothing. The snow quickly stopped its advance. It melted off his body. He felt so much lighter and wetter. In no time, Naruto was saved from the elements, as he allowed the green chakra to fade. Naruto groaned as he fell to his knees, clutching his arms. Naruto-kun, what's wrong?" Ayam said as she rushed towards him. He couldn't answer her. The pain was unbearable. His muscles tightened and his innards burned, but yet, he saved them. He saved them both. For the next hour, she comforted him, as his body tortured him for what he put it through. She and the others started to worry even more as he spat blood on the floor. However, once the hour was over, Naruto's head was resting in Ayam's lap, as the pain slowly drifted away. His eyes then fluttered open. "Is everyone alright?" he said. As Ayam wiped her eyes, "Yes, Naruto-kun," she said. "You saved us. You saved us all." As a smile came on his face. "Well, I guess that proved whether he can go outside or not," Tenten remarked, more to herself than anyone else. But they heard her though. "Yes. Ayam-san and Kurenai-sensei were the same. They could survive outside as well," Shino said. "Maybe that means we can go outside as well after it stops snowing," she said, as the others agreed. Ayam took off Naruto's backpack and tossed it to the side. "So you all have been living down here for a month," she said. "Indeed, but I'm more intrigued by Naruto-san. He was able to run from the Envu headquarters to his apartment in the southeastern quadrant of the village in under 6 minutes. Even most Jonin would take 10 minutes to get over there. How did he get over there that fast?" Unfortunately, Naruto had passed back out, and he was the only one that could answer that. After another hour passed, Naruto opened his eyes. "Glad you're awake, Naruto-kun," Ayam said, looking down towards him with a smile. As Naruto leaned up and rubbed his head. "How long have I been asleep?" he said. "About an hour," Ayam said. "Alright," said Naruto. "Let's get away from the doors." As he saw his bag. "Kurenai-san is still sick. I got everything from my apartment. We'll need to sort everything out in the tunnels," Naruto said. "Shouldn't Kurenai-sensei be telling us our next plan? I mean, she's the highest ranking official here." Tenten did not think what Naruto said was a bad thing, but they were taught that it was always a Jonin responsibility. If they were in a sticky situation, they must always listen to their Jonin. As Kurenai simply sighed, "Listen to Naruto," she said. "I'm not in the condition to lead anyway. Besides, he's the one that knows the most about everything. And out of all of us, he's the only protector we got right now. We'll have to see what happens when I feel better. But if your stores are anything to go by, there's a reason why you three were not able to go to the surface. If the same does apply to Ayam and myself, then Naruto is the only hope of us surviving." As Tenten opened her mouth to speak, but nothing came out. "I second your idea, Kurenai-san. Until this blizzard is over and we can test if Shino-kun, Tenten-chan, and myself can weather the natural events outside. Naruto's all we have," Katsu said. Everyone then turned towards him as Naruto felt a bit out of his element. Everyone looked to him, ready to follow what he says. It was a rather nice feeling, but a bit uncomfortable as well. As he cleared his throat and stood to his feet, he wobbled a bit, but Ayam helped him as he stood straight. "Alright, Kurenai-san, can you walk?" The Jonin nodded as he nodded back to her. "Alright, Katsu-san, lead us back through the tunnels. Once we're back there, I'll start to ration everything. Tenten, Shino, Gather all the burnable woods that you can up here. That fire is not gonna last forever, and I bet the windows are gonna break from all the ice outside. It probably won't be long until this place is overrun as well. As everyone agreed, Kasuke helped Kurenai as Tenten and Shino start to collect what they could, as Ayam helped Naruto fully up. He grabbed his backpack as they began their trek to the tunnels. They left the burning fire there. With any luck, it will keep the ice at bay before it ran out. In the back of Naruto's mind, he wondered if the snow would continue to fall for so long that it would reach into the tunnels. He would have to keep an eye on that. If that is the case, it would grow in places where no heat was, and it would overrun the place. If they weren't here for the tunnels, it won't be safe either. As Kasuke pulled the bookshelf, as he closed the door behind them, by the time they returned, everyone is a bit exhausted. As Kasuke opened the bunker area, Ayama and Kurenai surveyed the living conditions, just as they thought. It looked worse than they had envisioned. Just like Naruto, they heard how they got down here, and it wasn't a great tale. As Tenten tossed some wood onto the fire, barrels of fire, as it started to get bright and warm. As Naruto opened his backpack, alright, first thing first, as they all noticed the scrolls, Naruto unfurled the first one as there was a lot of medicine. Let's see, this one's good for every 6 hours. Help with cough, sickness, and sore throat. This will do. As he handed it to Kurenai, this will be your medicine now since the other vials ran out. Take it every 6 hours. She took it from him and looked it over. As she inspected it, once she finished, she took her first dose. Once her needs were met, Naruto started to unseal all the other scrolls. Kasuke, Tenten, and Shino were stunned as they saw the jug of water. The box is full of canned foods and everything else. As the young female gawked when she saw the female undergarments, she glared at Naruto, but he merely shrugged. Hey, if she wants to complain, she can go without them. What did it matter to him? Ayam said that we were getting low on water, so try not to drink it all. I'll need to find a way to go back out if the blizzard does not stop. Ayam Nichan, make a list of all I've collected. Kasuke-san, keep an eye on everything everyone takes. Shino, Tenten, and I would make space for all this stuff. As for Kurenai-san, she needs as much rest as she can get. As Naruto unsealed the mattress and the sheets that he had sealed away, Kurenai would have wanted to complain, but one look in the blonde eyes, and she could not. Instead, she just crawled under the sheets and fell asleep. They moved most of the boxes to another room that was not being used. They also strung up some candles for a light. As night fell over, and the place became colder, Kasuke, Tenten, and Shino ate like they never before. By the time they were done, Naruto wondered should he jot down more places on his map for food. More people meant he gonna need more food. Once dinner was sorted, Kasuke spent some time listing down everything that they drank and eaten. Between all the moving around, everyone became very tired. The sleeping arrangements were made. Naruto, Kasuke, and Shino was in one room. Tenten, Ayama, and Kurenai were in the other. However, that arrangement did not last for very long. Late into the night, Ayam tossed and turned. She could not go back to sleep. She has gotten used to having Naruto next to her. Having him by her side comforted her. When she lost communication with him, she became a nervous wreck. She assumed the worst. Thoughts that she did not want to entertain kept on popping into her head. She couldn't take them, even now they continue. As she started to sweat. Call her weak if you must, but she could not live like this. She picked up her pillow and sheets. She walked towards the man's door and knocked on it. Naruto-kun, she said as she stepped through. She rocked his shoulder. The blonde opened his eyes tiredly. What is it, Ayam Nichan, he said. She blushed and grabbed his arm, as it didn't take long for the blonde to realize what was going on. Lighting some candles, Naruto and her lay down in one room. She wrapped her arms around his waist as she cuddled up against him. As Naruto reached for his notepad and pen, now that he was awake, he decided to jot down a few things about today. Once he jotted that down, he turned towards her as he held on to her, as he ended up quickly falling asleep. Time skip. So I was thinking, maybe I could go with Naruto-kun when the blizzard let up, so that we can take more stuff back here when it's the two of us. What do you guys think? Said Ayam. As Naruto had unsealed some food for them, as they were all eating breakfast. What? Said Naruto as he turned towards her. However, the others seemed to be thinking this over, as Kasuke scratched on their chin, as Kurenai sipped on some hot soup, as Shino and Tenten gave each other a look. I think it's a good idea. At least, we won't have to rely on Naruto so much, even if he's the only one that can open these scrolls for some unknown reason that he does not even know. Tenten said, I'm all for it. As Shino spoke up, it does make sense to have extra manpower there. However, Ayam-san is a civilian. She's had no formal training. We've all seen what he looked like. Had it not been for Naruto, she and Kurenai-sensei would have not made it to us 3 days ago, said Shino. We can train her, said Tenten. It's not like we're doing anything else down here anyway. We're all gonna have to go up to the surface at some point. Soon all of us is gonna have to start pulling our weight. If Naruto can do it, she can do it too, Tenten said. It's not about pulling our weight. It's about practicality. There are numerous advantages of her going, but numerous disadvantages as well. We all heard what Naruto said is out there. We don't know what these bone crawlers are capable of. How do we know that he can protect her if she goes out, said Shino. She can protect herself. She doesn't need. Tenten was cut off by a simple cough. It was Kasuke. Now, I think our food is warm enough. No need to cast more heat to it. Ayam-san has cast our vote, with Tenten in favor, with Shino against. I shall say that I'm in favor as well. What do you say, Kurenai-san? No, not for now. If she proves that she can handle it, then I might think otherwise. But for now I'm against it, she said as she returned to her meal. Naruto felt uneasy as ever eyes land on him, the voted leader of the group. Of course he would have the final say in this matter. And what do you say, Naruto-san? Naruto wanted to say no immediately. It wasn't like he did not trust her or anything. However, he thought about Tuki. He thought about Hinata, Kiba, Lee. He thought about what it would do to him if the same fate befalls her. Even for him, the things he's seen, the things he's encountered, all of them, he barely walked away. Most times, he felt like giving up. It was only by some random miracle that he was still alive by now. The trees outside, the Shinobi district, the stadium, even just getting to the bunker, he almost died, doing each and one of them. Now, he would have to protect Ayam while doing that. For once in his life, Naruto felt how weak he was in the face of this new world. He had sworn to Tuki that he would protect her. That also meant making her strong enough. No, said Naruto. Oh come on, Tenten was cut off as Kasuke raised a hand. Kurenai did not say anything either. Both of the adults could see how much a young woman meant to the blonde. Kurenai herself had read up on Naruto's profile. He visited the ramen shop a lot. He formed a bond with the father-daughter duo. It was only natural that he wouldn't want her out there. Perhaps not Kasuke, but Kurenai wondered how much gone he would have been if the ramen waitress had not made it. Ayam held her head down. Did she feel frustrated? Yeah, but she understood where Naruto was coming from. She did not hold against him. She would probably say the same thing if they were in different positions. Naruto continued, so, you have until the blizzard ends to prove me wrong. When it stops snow, we're going out. Everyone widened their eyes as Ayam looked towards him in shock. It was completely clear where he stand on this. However, it was her job to prove him wrong. And he was gonna have to make himself stronger as well. Strong enough that when even she can't protect herself, he could protect her. All of them. Ayam was sure if her smile got any larger, it would split her face. Right. I won't let you down, Naruto-kun, she said. As Naruto nodded, as he finished her breakfast. He will have all of them oversee her training. If she wasn't ready by the time, well, she just wouldn't be ready. Tenten handled her weapon training, Chino helped with her training regime. Kasuke and Kurenai handled the more advanced courses. Well, the subjects of chakra control, ninjutsu and genjutsu, had to be placed aside for the moment, but those would be looked into once everyone had their chakra back. For now, taijutsu will have to be enough. Kasuke, Kurenai, and Naruto will have to see to that. Once the inventory was done, torture began. First, endurance training. As the Eternal Genin marked places in the hall for her to run. She jogged or power walk in the mornings and nights for an hour each. It was also good for Shino and Tenten as well, as they had become too relaxed with their bodies. While they were gone, Naruto sat Kasuke and Tenten down in the lather's room. Alright, Naruto-san, you gather us together. So what's the problem? Kasuke asked, once again he had that smile that unnerved Naruto a bit. Let's not beat around the bush, said Naruto. I know that you're all wondering how I made that successful mission to get them in return 3 days ago. I wanted to wait until Kurenai-san made a full recovery, but there are some things I can't put off. Seeing that your main question was already in the open, they did not feel a need to rush him. As Naruto spoke, if you both had to give chakra a color, what would it be, Naruto asked. The both of them thought in that question as they quickly answered, blue. They've seen the strength of chakra before. When concentrated, it was a very strong blue color. Some hypothesized that it was only blue because that was the color the naked eye make it out to be. Yeah, I said that to Arasenin too, said Naruto. Arasenin? Kurenai asked. Yeah, he's a damn pervert sage, Jiraiya. He taught me a little bit before Chunin exam finals. I saw him because he was peeping on the ladies in the hot springs one day. Kurona and Kosuk had entirely different reactions to that. Clearly they both heard of the Toad Sage. Jiraiya. I always told him that those eccentric activities of his will get him in trouble, Kosuk said, with a chuckle. Kurona just tried to move forward to disrespect the Sanin had towards women. It was always notable, although she knew that he had great qualities of a shinobi and a human being, but he was a piece of shit together all the same. She always thought that if he stopped his perverted tendencies, at least in public, there might be a woman out there for him. Can we move on, Naruto? What did Jiraiya-sama tell you? Yeah, anyway, he asked me about accessing the Kyuubi's chakra. He asked me what color I thought my chakra was. I said blue. And then he asked me about the Kyuubi. I said it felt red. But check this out, said Naruto. Naruto formed a hand sign as he gathered the green chakra. He then exhaled as the green chakra surrounded his body. Both of them shivered even though it wasn't much they could see it. The chakra, it felt so powerful. It felt so overwhelming. It felt like nothing they'd ever feel before. They had actually felt this feeling whenever they were near Naruto. They weren't sure why, but every time they were near him they felt this power that connected him with them, that made them sweat. It made them tremble. They then knew it was because of that chakra. As Naruto released the chakra, and for once, he didn't feel any pain. Perhaps it was because he just didn't do anything crazy with it. I call it green chakra because I don't know what else to call it. I've tried using it to do jutsu, but it does not work. I tried to walk on literally everything I found, but I got nothing. What it is an intensifier. It intensifies everything I already can do. I'm stronger, faster, and I can also remember things clearly from like 10 years ago. Every single lesson I've learned, and everything seemed to connect itself together in ways I can't describe. But the backlash hurt like you won't even believe. Backlash? Said Kurona, as Naruto nodded. You remember I passed out 3 days ago? Well, that's the reason. The reason I was even able to make it to you guys was because of the green chakra, fueling my movements, but once I released it, the backlash is severe, said Naruto. Interesting. So this is something like chakra, but yet cannot be molded like chakra. It also made Naruto stand stronger and smarter. Perhaps we have it as well, Kosuk said. Kurona frowned. I tried to mold my chakra. I don't have anything like what he described. It could do something with why he's able to survive on the surface. Perhaps his green chakra strengthened his lungs. While that might be true, it doesn't explain why you and Ayam-san can survive, like he said. The only way I can see is exposure. If this green chakra has been keeping him alive, and you two have been living with him, it seems like your bodies just naturally absorb the chakra from him. That's impossible, said Kurona. That's not how chakra works. If it were that way, there would be abundance of chakra in people. They would die just from too much of it. Never mind its potency. Indeed. But this is not normal chakra. Besides, we've all have our chakra levels severely reduced. That could be the reason it slipped in without you, or Ayam, knowing. It could be the key to us returning back to the surface as well, he figured. So you're saying that we're basically using him as some kind of chakra battery. You heard him. The backlash is severe pain. If he's incapacitated, we have no hope of surviving out there. Kosuk smiled. Then we'll just have to make sure that he's not incapacitated. Time skip. 2 weeks pass. Naruto learned that Kosuk Mirabashi was not the average genin. The man fought better than even Kakashi in some areas. As Naruto trained with him in taijutsu, as Kurona observed, as the man had to sigh sometimes, just what was Kakashi teaching his students? Even Kurona saw everything, as she corrected Naruto on what she could. As Naruto had to constantly control and maintain the green chakra while he fought. It was painful, very painful, insanely painful. Naruto felt like he was being pushed between the realms of life and death. Numerous days were spent in utter pain and agony. Some days he wondered if he would live to see tomorrow, others he thought that he would not. As he wondered how could one old man be so strong. He remembered the clashes of kunais, the punches to the face, the punches to the gut. Each lesson was a strain on his head. As for Kosuk and Kurona, neither were sure what to say. For Kosuk though, it was a challenge to hit Naruto himself. Each kick and each punch that he delivered onto the blonde, there was a sense of fear that he felt rush through his spine. It was even a challenge to stand up close to him, especially when he's fighting. Kosuk had to constantly stop himself from opening his mouth and apologizing and begging for mercy, which was strange and made no sense. Kurona watched him throw a kunai with such force that the air around it bursts, and the speed test, it showed how incredibly fast he was. Once the 2 weeks passed, Naruto stared out from the Forest of Death Tower. He's been here a few times now. The snow had finally stopped falling some time ago. Hell, it actually dried up. There was no sign of it anywhere. The sky had returned to back greenish, yellowish now. Everything was back to this hellish world that they were in. Back to normal for this hellish world. Man, even this is starting to feel normal to me, said Naruto as he picked his backpack up and ran through the tunnels. As he arrived to his group, everyone looked towards him with great expectation. It stopped snowing, he said. The group breathed easily. Ayam and Naruto shared a look as Naruto pulled out a map. Alright, for now, Ayam and I are going to avoid the Shinobi district. That is where those bone crawlers are. It is also where the fissure is located. I still want to attempt to raid that spot for the bank, said Naruto. Yeah, you talked about that before. Why do we need a bank exactly, Tenten said. Because we might have to consider the possibility of leaving Konoha. Finally dropping the news that he was holding on to. The bunker was dead silent hearing that. You want us to desert the village? Tenten asked. What village, Tenten? Everything has been destroyed. We're also running low on stuff as it is. It's been a month and a half since it started. There is no chain of command, no reinforcements, and the ground is breaking under our feet, with more and more earthquakes. If we're not careful, we can be caved in down here, said Naruto. Tenten opened her mouth to say something, but nothing came. As Shin opened his mouth, well, unless we test the three of us can go outside, there won't be a point of us going anywhere. We also don't know how the landscape has changed. Beyond the village, it could be worse out there, Shino said. The others remained silent. Ayam did not feel a need to speak. Whatever choice Naruto made, she would follow him. Chubi told she did not wish to stay in Konoha after what she witnessed at the stadium. If anything, staying within Konoha terrified her even more. True, she didn't know what was out there, but staying here was more terrifying. As for Kosuke and Kurenai, they could understand where Naruto was coming from. They had all elected him the leader because he could do what they could not. As it stood, he was a great young leader, as he kept them all alive. If the both of them swallowed the hard pill called reality, then they realized that Naruto was 100% right. They could not stay here. They felt the earthquake some time ago and it was the scariest time for them all. Kosuke was afraid that the tunnels beneath them would cave in. As they wondered though, was anywhere out there safe anymore. Naruto had to do what was best for the group. And that was leaving behind this village that was broken and chaotic. Even just yesterday, Kurenai, who was feeling much better, walked to the top of the tower in the Forest of Death, and the board came down and crushed the opening to the top, blocking it off completely. Even the tower was fading away and she could do nothing to stop it. For now, it's just a suggestion, said Naruto. I don't like it more than you guys do. Yeah, right. I bet there's no incentive for you to stay here. Just because you don't have anyone, it doesn't mean the rest of us don't. Tenten grumbled. As her eyes widened to what she said, she slapped a hand over her mouth. As she looked up slightly, everyone looked at her with disapproval, but Naruto's eyes were not even angry. He just looked sad, hurt, and guilt washed over her in such a wave that she felt like her knees were gonna give out. I'm sorry, I didn't... Yeah, I know, said Naruto, cutting her off. Come on, Ayam, he said. We'll have to get ready. Alright, Ayam said. She got up and left with him. This left Tenten wishing she could bury herself in a hole and never come out. This was definitely not going well for everyone. After about 10 minutes they returned. As they had their backpacks with weapon inside, as Naruto placed the radio down on the table. As Kosuke took it with the headset, be safe out there you two, he said. Shino and Kurenai waved them off. Tenten was nowhere to be seen. They walked through the tunnels as they arrived towards the ladder. Ready? Said Naruto. Yeah, she said. The aches in my arms and legs tell me I am. As Naruto snickered a bit, making her smile. As Naruto climbed up first with her behind him, Naruto punched the door open as it swung open with a thud. The wind blasted right in his face. He pulled himself up and he helped Ayam out. He pulled his face mask up as he gave Ayam his goggles. He would find another pair for himself somewhere else. Alright, so water, food, and some other things, right? Said Naruto. Ayam felt the wind blew against her face. Was it always so hot out here? Yeah, she said, as she pulled a notebook out. We also need to get more bathroom supplies. We can find those in a local commercial district. Where would you like to go first? We'll stop for the water first. We'll also try to find some additional radio as well. We'll need them, said Naruto. Alright, stay close to me. Yes, I'll follow your lead, Naruto-kan, said. So with that, the both of them moved. As Ayam looked towards the spear of the village that she once looked towards with such happiness. Now just desolate and destroyed, collapsed, broken and defeated. Everything was dying as they got the things. The very will of fire didn't seem to be burning anymore. As her mind was just focused, trying to get through, despite the chaos all around her. As they arrived to the commercial district, they gathered everything in the center of the room because Naruto was the only one that could seal the things. It took them around half an hour to get everything and seal them away. 6 hours of looting passed, and Ayam stared at her home from on top of a roof of a hotel complex. Thunder rolled across the sky. Sand tornadoes were brewing through the village. As Naruto stood there with her looking over the village. There, she said, my mom took me to the park. She was sick, but she still played with me anyways. And my dad made me my first bowl of ramen. Is there anywhere safe out there, Naruto-kun? She said. Naruto tried to spout something comforting, but he didn't know himself as he just held on to her as she cried. They stayed like that until she got her emotions under control. We'll make it, Ayam-chan, said Naruto. I'll make sure of it, said Naruto. So with that, they climbed down. As they moved, they climbed to another one to get over the broken street. As Naruto paused when he heard something. Glancing, Naruto saw a bottle rolling down the road into the broken steep. Naruto narrowed his eyes. He latched out and grabbed Ayam. Get behind me, he said. Worried, she didn't ask why she got behind him. As Naruto pulled out a kunai, Naruto snapped his head to the left as he heard clawing, scratching on the wall. The wind became a loud hollow wail. What's wrong, she said. As Naruto gripped the kunai tightly. Bone crawlers, he said. But guys, if you end subscribe right here. If you want to see the next part and do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification as they posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other series over on the other channels. Yes, remember guys, I indeed have 4 of them that I post what if on every day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and check them out and enjoy. And yes, links will be down in the description for the other channels. Comment down below and tell me if you're new. So without further ado, I'm off now. See you guys soon. Peace guys.